So we can, it's fine. We can go hop in the train. It's not all fine.
We should play. It's just us two. What? It's just us two. Yeah.
For Isaiah, just another strong night for you offensively. Just what was working well for you, and how much confidence are you playing with right now?
Definitely playing with a lot of confidence. You know, my teammates, my coaches, they all instill that in me. We come to work every day for practice, so, you know, it's just normal out there.
Sebi, obviously you guys didn't have the start that you guys would have wanted. It led to a hockey substitution for the starters. What kind of happened in the opening minutes for the starters specifically?
I mean, we just came out flat. We gotta be better. All 5 of us to start the game. It's a responsibility to start the game that coach entrusts us with, and we gotta be better.
Sebi, along those lines, you know, I don't know if the quick turnaround is why you were maybe slow out of the gate. You know, you just traveled, you had the big wins, 1 day of prep and all that. Whether it was or wasn't, I mean, is that a lesson going forward? You're going to have a lot of, you know, kind of quick turnarounds and league play and that sort of thing. Is this something you can learn from?
Definitely. I mean, we can't let that happen again, and the quick turnaround is no excuse. It's our job to come out and be ready to play this game that we love, and we just got to be flat out better in the future. It's unacceptable.
Really, for either of you, this team has had a habit of sort of getting behind, but then being able to rally and come back and erase deficits. What can you say about this team's ability to do that, and especially going into Big 12 play?
That we're just going to fight the whole game. The game is 40 minutes, so, you know, whatever happens in the first half is what happens in the first half, and we have another half to go. So, you know, we're always going to climb back and give it our all.
Isaiah, obviously your scoring off the bench has been pretty consistent so far this season, but you haven't had quite a situation like this, at least when you first come in the game where the team's been that far behind out of the gate. You know, you've kind of been instant offense, but is it a sequence where maybe you have to remind yourself, you know, you're not going to get it all back in one possession, and this team really has to chip away to get this thing back?
Definitely, yeah. You know, just one stop at a time. We call it a kill, which is 3 stops in a row. We just try to strive for that, and we'll eventually get back in the game.
The bench scored 37 points, led by your 17 points, Isaiah. But could you speak on Alone and Josiah and Jalen and their impact on the game as well?
Yeah, they had great energy coming in. Alone, you know, he finished. He hit some big shots for us. Josiah, he rebounded the ball extremely well tonight. Jalen as well, he played really hard. So, you know, just it's our responsibility as the bench to just come in with energy.
Isaiah, going off of that, we saw in the second half you and Alone had a bit of a 2-man game going. Can you speak to your guys' connection as freshmen on the team, on and off the court?
Yeah, you know, we're talking about it all the time off the court, where he likes the ball. He likes the ball in the pocket. He likes to pick and pop. So, you know, we're just always communicating even on the court. But, yeah, he's a special player.
For Sebi, does it take any pressure off of you as a starter knowing that this bench can contribute so well offensively?
Yeah, but I don't think I feel any pressure in general. I mean, this is a sport that we all love, all 15 of us, and we enjoy to play. So I wouldn't say there's necessarily a pressure, but I would say it's a privilege to have such a good bench, especially with Isaiah Alone and Jalen and Josiah coming in and being that energy boost for us and being able to contribute points-wise as well.
Sebi, they scored 42 points in the paint, had 14 offensive rebounds. Was there any surprising factor to their front court at all?
I wouldn't say surprising. We knew going into the game that they're very physical, crash the boards very hard. We didn't execute that game plan well in the first half especially, and we let their guards get downhill too easily, which put us into tough spots.
Anything else? All right, thanks, guys. Okay, Head Coach Tad Boyle. Coach, start with an opening statement, then we'll have time for questions.
Yeah, credit goes to Cal Baptist. You know, they're a really well-coached team, got tough guys that know how to win, obviously. They're 7-0 coming in here just like we were, but we were lucky to get out of here with a win because we were not ready to play from the get-go for whatever reason. I got to look at myself in the mirror on that one. It's not because I took these guys lightly. I know how good they were. Coach Manning did the scatter report. He knew how good they were, but I don't think our players, for some reason, the way we came out and knowing that they averaged 15 offensive rebounds a game and we give up 5 like in the first 5 minutes, like that means you're not ready to play. You're not executing the game plan, and that's disappointing because that's a step backwards. And November was a good month for us. We won some tough games early where we weren't very good. We got better as the month went on. And one thing that I take pride in as a coach is I want our team to get better every week, every game, certainly every month throughout the season. And today was a step backwards. So for that I'm not too happy. But you take the win, you move on, and you better play better than that on Saturday night.
Dominique Daniels Jr. had 25 points, but
Yeah.
you guys also gave up 44 points in the paint in the offensive rebounds you mentioned. What was, this?
Well, he is a good player, and keeping him out of the paint is easier said than done. They average 40 points a game in the paint. They average 15 offensive rebounds. So they got 14 offensive rebounds and 44 points in the paint. So that means we did not execute our defensive game plan at all. I'm not saying we're going to shut them out and keep them out of the paint forever, but we got to hold them to 30 points in the paint. Make them make their non-shooting bigs, make them make a couple threes. And but we didn't do that tonight. We just we have a young team, and trying to change your ball screen coverages. We changed our ball screen coverage tonight against Cal Baptist. That was different than what we did against San Francisco and Palm Springs. It was different than what we did against Washington and Palm Springs. But we weren't able to execute that with one day's practice. Our guys got to dial in. The mental is to physical is 4:1. I think Coach McCartney said that. And I believe it to my core. And mentally we weren't ready to go tonight.
Ted, kind of along those lines, talking to you, after the last game in Palm Desert, talking about quick turnaround against a good team, your first road of the year. Yes, are you pausing me or?
I'm this quick turnaround. That's a bunch of horse hockey because these guys played on Saturday night. We traveled back on Saturday. I was in my living room on my couch watching these guys play Oregon State and beat them on Saturday night. Then they had to travel on Sunday and play us tonight. So I don't want to hear this short turnaround horse hockey because that is not an excuse for this group, and I'm not going to use it as an excuse because guess what? Cal Baptist had a shorter turnaround than we did. So I'm sorry to cut you off, Pat.
I mean, the question I was getting at is, whether that was the case or not with your team kind of being lethargic after all that.
I don't know.
It's a good learning point for this team going forward because there's going to be similar situations, especially when you get into Big 12 play.
Absolutely. Sure as hell better be. We better have learned from Washington, and that evaporation of a 17-point lead. We should learn from not coming. Look, our starting 5 has done a pretty darn good job most of the year coming out with intensity, with the eye of the tiger, and playing with, the way we want to play for the most part. Now, we're not always up, but we've been up majority of the time at that first media timeout. Tonight, they weren't ready. I was like, who are these guys? That's why I did the mass substitutions. And guess what? Second unit wasn't much better. So we're down 18-5 and dig ourselves a hole. And look, credit to our guys. Somehow, some way, I don't know how. I'm going to watch it. I don't know how the hell we were down 2 at halftime. I felt like we should have been down 20. And guess what? On Saturday night, we will be down 20 if we play like that. So we better learn. And I'd rather learn from these wins than losses. But each game gets a little bit tougher, and we've not played in a true road environment yet, other than when we were in Australia this summer. We had one true road environment, and we're going to sure as hell get one on Saturday.
Coach, you talk a lot about playing without fouling, but then 18 personal fouls today.
Yeah.
Was that something more that Cal Baptist was doing, or something that you need to address as a team?
They put foul pressure on you. I think that's one thing we have to continue to get better at is showing our hands, when they're driving. Again, our ball screen coverage was designed to keep Daniels out of the paint and make him go east and west, not north and south. We got split 4 times in the first half on a ball screen with him, where he's going right through the heart of our defense like a hot knife through butter. Attention to the game plan. Didn't execute it. So, yeah, look, it's there's a lot of things you can point to tonight. But, again, our competitiveness, our fight, our will to win, that's one thing, I got to give this group credit for. They've got that, and that's why we're 8-0. And that's why we didn't lose a game to Montana State or Eastern Washington when maybe we should have. That's why we don't lose tonight like maybe we should have. But we found ways to win those games when you don't play your best. So that's you got to take the positive and build on that. But we got to improve on the negatives.
Ted, with Bangat, we'll talk about kind of his development and the way he's come on this year.
Yeah.
Didn't have his best offensive game, shooting
Yeah.
game, but I think it was 8 rebounds, another few assists with no turnovers again. Seemed to lead the defensive turnaround. Is this another sign of the way he's coming on, especially to have the bad offensive night and still make a huge impact on the game?
Yeah, and I'm not singling Bangat out on this. I thought our entire team was soft at the rim offensively. We were finesse. We were, we got to take that ball and put it in the basket. And if we get fouled, we get fouled. If we don't get fouled, we got 2 points. But we missed a lot of shots at the rim. Bangat did. Other guys did. He was not the only one. But, he made a big-time defensive block or certainly altered shot there in the second half when we're making our run and blowing it out. But, again, we get a 12-point lead. We have a couple bad possessions, a couple inopportune turnovers, and now, boom, it's a 5-point lead. Now, we staved them off, but we got to execute better. But Bangat has made tremendous strides on both sides of the ball, certainly since the 4th game. But we could all have played better tonight. Every player out there. I thought Isaiah Johnson was pretty darn good, but defensively, he got number 11's a right-hand driver, beat him twice going right. Did a better job down the stretch, but we can't have those breakdowns.
You mentioned the tentativeness kind of going to the rim with Isaiah Johnson, too. He was a guy who got to the free throw line. I think he had 11 free throws. Just what does that say about him as a freshman, too? It seemed like he was willing to drive to the rim.
Yeah, look, Isaiah, offensively, I got very little to, to really have a beef with him. I have complete confidence in him when he has the ball in his hands. He had 3 assists, no turnovers tonight. He's been getting to the free throw line all year. He's very good at that. He's a finisher. He's tough. He's one guy that can finish at the rim and did finish at the rim. But defensively is where I want him to really, really take on the challenge. And Washington and San Francisco, if you watch those films closely, part of their offensive game plan was to go at him, off the bounce with bigger guards. He's going to get that this year. He'll be fine. He needs an off season in that weight room where next year they won't be doing that because I think he'll be able to hold his ground. But with that being said, he's still a very good defender, capable defender. But he just got to. That's the part he's got to just take that dog mentality. And I think, Barrington's got that a little bit. And I think when Isaiah can get that, those two can be really, really difficult guards defensively for other teams to deal with.
Coach, Barrington was matched up with Daniels, both on offense and defense for much of this game. Can you speak, and he's going to get the same matchup on Saturday with Josh Pasquarelli at CU, and can you speak on his ability to take the primary ball handler of the other team while also managing our offense?
Yeah, Look, Barrington grew up with Dominic Daniels. They were on the same AAU team, and they grew up playing together in the same area of Southern California. So they know each other's games very well. So it probably made sense that he guarded Barrington. It probably made sense that Barrington guarded him because they're very familiar with each other's games. But, yeah, Barrington, I thought, tonight for the first time, inopportune turnovers. He had 2 assists, 4 turnovers. That's not who Barrington is. He knows that. But again, he's been so good in that area for us. But again, that inopportune behind the back kind of lazy pass to Sebi, they got stolen and they cut it to 5. We got to cut that out. Alone had a really tough turnover down the stretch, driving it, and they're in the gap raking, which we knew they were going to be in the gap raking, and we turn it over, and that's what we got to get rid of. But Barrington has done a lot for this team. We're not 8-0 without Barrington Hargress. And you could say that for a lot of our guys. We're not 8-0 without Elijah Malone. We're not 8-0 without Bangat Dak, Sebastian Rancic, Isaiah Johnson. Josiah Sanders gave us great minutes tonight off the bench, energy, rebounding. So that's what I love about this team is we got multiple guys that can help us win in different ways and on different nights. And we just have to understand it. Like tonight was not Elijah Malone's game. He just wasn't himself. He wasn't what he normally has been. And so guess what? We go with Alone off the bench, and Alone responded pretty well. It wasn't perfect, but that's what makes this team special in my mind because Elijah's going to bounce back. He'll be ready to go on Saturday. But I love this team. I really do, even though I was a little frustrated tonight. But I'm frustrated because my expectations are so high. And I think our fans, feel the same way now. First time what? In how many years, Curtis? 76 years we've been 8-0 at Colorado. It's pretty good. But we can't be satisfied with that. We can't rest on those laurels. It's, okay, great accomplishment. What have you done for me lately? Well, let's find out Saturday night or Saturday afternoon in Fort Collins.
Coach, that sort of leads into my next question, which is, the first 8-0 start in 76 years. Where is this team headed now?
Well, I think where I hope we're headed is we're going to take tomorrow off, and I hope where we're headed is Wednesday morning we're going to hook it up and practice and get better and address the things that we didn't have tonight and play with energy in practice because you play how you practice. And if our guys are starting to think, oh, yeah, practices don't matter and we'll just do game prep and then be ready when the – no, we got to continue to get better. It's December 1st. A lot of room for improvement. I keep saying – the ceiling for this team is very, very high. I believe that. But it's my job, it's our job to make sure they reach that ceiling. I'd like to do that sooner rather than later. But this team can be as special as it wants to be. And if they continue to put the name on the front of their jersey, the Colorado Buffaloes, ahead of any individual agendas these guys have or play with, we'll be fine. If we start playing with agendas on offense and worried about our minutes and our shots and our averages and all that stuff that doesn't matter. There's one stat that matters, winning. And we've done that up to this point. Now, can we do it on Saturday? And we get a chance to do it in our state, rivalry, on the road. All you can ask for in life is an opportunity. We got one.
After some of these games, you've highlighted how impressed you were by the assist total. Tonight, you guys only had 11.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you saw that limited, those assists.
Lack of ball movement. And I think Cal Baptist deserves some credit on that. They're a well-coached team. I thought we didn't cut like we're capable of cutting. And you know what? We didn't finish. It's hard to get assists when, you hit a guy and he turns it over. You hit a guy and he takes a bad shot or gets deflected or, we got to be able to finish at the rim better than we did tonight. And if we do that, we got to roll harder. We got to throw back to the tag guy. It's just we got to execute our offense like we've done in practice, like we've done in the games. We've been usually pretty darn good. You look at our offensive efficiency numbers, they're pretty darn good, but tonight they weren't. Cal Baptist had something to do with that, but we had a lot of self-inflicted stuff where you start bouncing the ball and trying to take guys one-on-one. Good defensive teams are going to be there. And that's why you end up turning the ball over, and that's why you end up not shooting the percentage you're capable of shooting.
Anything else?
Thank you.